Hello, it is Japan, and we are going to do a SmackDown review. I've been trying to do these Raw and SmackDown reviews as much as possible, so if you're enjoying it, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, any of those type of things. So, I'm hoping you guys are enjoying some of these. So we're gonna kind of go based off the matches and the segments. I think mainly the issue, at least with some of the segments itself, is that they kind of led into some matches tonight. So we didn't get as much build, I guess, but we started off the show with Rey Mysterio being in front of this San Diego crowd. I think that was a pretty good touch because he's from there. And then talking about how he's going to enter the Royal Rumble. Now, guys, isn't it kind of weird that we've only had the males join? Like, we haven't really had anybody else declare on the women's side. Like, we're kind of getting close. Like, it's kind of important that we start hyping up the women's side of things. It's a little weird, but Rey Mysterio says that he's going to try to make that final push and win like he did before. And then Kevin Owens interrupts him and tells him that, if he wins, we've never faced each other, that you should challenge me. And then obviously, racing through Kevin's delusion says, you're not even a champion. But I mean, if you win against Cody, then I'll definitely challenge you. But yeah, that kind of sets off Kevin Owens, and then it leads to eventual some altercations later as like a match brews. I think it was a pretty good segment. I put it in A. I thought it was a good way to start off the show. I like this delusional Kevin Owens, thing that he's doing right now. I think it works pretty good. Next up, we have a tag team match. I'm not surprised why they just don't put this for the tag team titles. Like, is it just kind of weird sometimes, like when they don't put a title match, even though like the tag team champions are gonna win? Like, that's just an easy defense that you can do it and puts a little bit of more stake in it. I mean, like, we didn't really think that Naomi and Bianca were gonna lose unless like it was really gonna be a device, but like it just felt so random, like not to have it as a championship match. But I think it was a pretty solid match. I mean, I don't think it was anything to write home about, like as being like match of the night or anything like that. But I think it was pretty solid to put it on the card. I put it on B. I thought it is there. I wouldn't have taken it out, but I definitely would have put the title match on it, and I think it would have made it a lot better. I also think it would have been a little bit better to allow Naomi to be a little bit more in it because she was cooking when she was in there, but like she was a good portion of that match. She was just off somewhere. Next up, I feel like we had this first. We had the Jimmy Uso versus Carmelo fight that actually I was really, really, really enjoying until they obviously had a no contest at the end with the Bloodline attacking Jimmy, then Carmelo. But I just was like, this is a good feud. I think this would be something to explore and maybe have a rematch very soon because I think they had some good similar fighting styles out there to really make that match pretty solid. I definitely think it was better than the tag match, but I wouldn't put it much higher than the tag match. I just think it just suffered because it was no ending, and like if they would have gave them another like 2-3 minutes and an ending, I think it would have definitely made that match a lot better. But obviously, it was more of the device of the Bloodline coming back into the picture. So then we had the Bloodline up here, and Jacob got the crowd going, and basically had Solo come down to say something, and he got booed out of the place and he left. I thought it was a nice like angle that they did because I think it's shaking the undying loyalty for Jacob and Tama Tonga for Solo maybe, and then like Solo obviously being knocked off his perch has not been able to handle that. And I think it's pretty cool for his character too. So I'm gonna put it in A. I don't think there was anything wrong with it. I just think it was a pretty solid couple-minute promo. Good to have on the show. Then I'm pretty sure the Charlotte Flair thing came later, but I'm gonna go here now because I don't exactly remember when they had the vignette for Charlotte Flair. Uh, it was okay. Like we know that she was coming back. I kind of rather if it just been a surprise, unless she's just coming back on a random SmackDown. But I feel like she's setting up to come back something bigger like the Royal Rumble or something. So I don't really feel like we needed the vignette necessarily. I think overall it was fine. Maybe a little bit more mystery would have been a little bit better instead of just straight up telling us that Charlotte was coming back. So I'll put it in B. Wasn't anything bad. Didn't really need it. Then we had the tag team match, Motor City Machine Guns versus Las Garza. This was actually surprisingly like just a really good match. It felt like obviously we kind of thought Motor City Machine Guns, like they're obviously being pushed and all that. I thought, they would have a pretty just solid match, but Lars Garza like absolutely went out there and just said, "Hold my beer," and they did some crazy crap, man. That high jump kick that Berto did, I was like, man, get these guys some more screen time because like that was a really solid match, and I think looking back at most of this, it was very good to be match contender of the night. So I'll put it in an A for right now. I might slide it up to S because I want to go over the matches fully before I just say that was the match of the night. But man, it was good. The ending was a little screwy with having Pretty Deadly out there trying to cost Motor City Machine Guns and accidentally Cars Las Garza. I think it's the structure that have this like feuds of all the tag teams I'm really enjoying. So I think I'm just sitting here waiting and just watching because it's been good. Next up, the shortest match of the night, Piper Niven versus BFAB. It was only 2 minutes long. It kind of just had that kind of thing where we kind of knew it was just going to be kind of a squash match. I mean, it felt like BFAB should have deserved a little bit longer than that. She obviously went out there and showed some chops. I would have been fine if she would have at least lasted like 5 to 6 minutes. Just like give her some more time out there because I think she was like doing some really good stuff, and I think also gave Piper more of a like a push and a look if you would have just gave her more than 2 seconds on like or 2 minutes on a squash match. I'm gonna put it down and C. I just feel like it's one of those things that I really feel like we could have used a couple extra minutes. We had plenty of time. They could have easily cut off a couple minutes from some of the other matches and added to that if they really were that close on time. So I don't know. I just feel like that was kind of rough. Next up, we have Rey Mysterio versus Kevin Owens. I think this match was really good. I think the lucha, style with obviously Rey Mysterio is always looks good on like a bigger opponent that it can also move around pretty fast. And I think they both as this being their first ever singles match together, I think we got an extra little treat here on this episode. And me personally, I think it's an A match. I think it was really good, very serviceable, definitely deserved to be on this card. And I think like being the lead up to the title match, I think was really perfect to not put it the main event because I think it ended up making the title match just even more like I don't know, just more like pristine. We knew that there was going to be a good chunk of time for it, so I think that was good. And yeah, let's get to that title match: Tiffany Stratton versus Bayley. We obviously know Bayley wasn't going to just get the belt right off the bat. That would have been crazy to have all that whole build up and then just have Tiffany lose on her first defense. But I think overall, I think the match was great, and that ending sequence, like, because like we could see the time running out, and like my prediction, I really thought Roxanne Perez was going to deal with it, like deal something so like they could set up a feud, which they did have they're gonna have a feud it seems like, but it feels like it's gonna be an NXT feud, not a main roster feud. Again, perfectly fine with that because that's what I wanted. I don't really care where it takes place, I just want to see it. But man, that ending and that prettiest moonsault was perfect way to do it, and I think it really was like that feather to put right into that title reign to start that off good because I feel like Tiffany's gonna have the belt for the perceivable future, at least until WrestleMania. So like she's got to have some of those good signature wins to really make it better. And I think this was definitely one of them. And I think it was match of the night. I'll put it up in the S tier. I think it just narrowly beats out tag match. I think the tag match just obviously with having like tag teams that are really good like that and having like the chemistry, you're gonna get some crazier like spots. But I think overall match from start to finish, I think that was the best match. I think like overall, if you put it like as like a match itself, like just on its own, like in a PLE, I think it still would have been a solid A. But I think like for this show, it's definitely the best way to cap it off. I'll put the SmackDown in general. I'll put it in B. I thought it was just one of those SmackDowns that we got a couple good matches to cook, but I feel like the little bit of screwiness with some of these other matches could have really changed some of the timing around. Like I really would have put a little bit less time on even the title match and like the Kevin Owens match. Just like take a minute from each one of those, or a minute 30. Give that to the Piper Niven match. I think that would have made that one better, and it would have propelled the card up higher. And then they could have easily also maybe gave an extra minute or two to Bianca and Candice LeRae and Nia Jax in the beginning. And I think all that would have worked, or just cut the the vignette or something. Like there was plenty of stuff they could have done to make this one better. But I'd put it in B. And yeah, if you like these reviews, please comment below and like it and watch the video. I like making wrestling content. I do a lot of WWE, a lot of like Stardom and stuff like that. But the WWE content, there's so much in the market for that. So like I do it for fun, but I do definitely like to see if I get a decent amount of views. I want to continue to do it. But if I get other views and other stuff, that's what I'll make content for, because whatever you guys are liking, I like serving. And yeah, but these reviews have been fun. So tell me what you guys think, or if you guys want anything different, or if you want more in depth, or just the matches. Any of that would be helpful. And till next time, this has been Japan. Bye, guys.